Well, welcome to Fantasy Insiders TV. And it is my first time hosting. I'm very excited. Dave kind of just threw me in and didn't tell me about it till 4:59. That's not true.
Lies, all lies.
That's not true either. But with us we have Dan Gasper and Eric, and you know him as Napster Man, and you know me as Lofty D. What's going on, fellas?
Not a whole lot.
Not
My
much.
kid's
Lots
been
of
horrible
guys.
this morning, so I haven't been able to look at a whole lot of MLB, but
So you're
I'm ready to
useless
go.
tonight.
Nah, I'm still good to go.
All right. Good.
I just want your kid run behind you screaming, ah!
I wouldn't be surprised if he's napping right now, finally. I would be surprised if you heard him at some point in time during the show, though, waking up.
So we have only 5 games. I know on DraftKings. Are any other websites running the makeup game for Toronto and Minnesota on their slates?
Yeah,
Definitely not.
FanDuel is, and they're also running the Colorado game that starts a
Both
little
of them.
earlier.
Okay, beautiful. All right, well,
Yeah.
let's.
So is
Dive-
draft day. They're doing Colorado.
Okay, well, I guess DraftKings is the only one that's behind. So let's dive into this. There's a lot of high-end pitching options tonight. I'm looking at them right now. There's probably 4 or 5 that could easily give you 8 innings and 12 strikeouts if things go right. Eric, what are you looking at in terms of pitching today? Top 2 pitchers.
Wainwright. He's number one for me. Like, it's just a weird night. Like, there's only over under. Like, I think it's over 7.5. Is like, which one is it? Minnesota, Toronto. Like, so I'm just like, I'm going Wainwright and then just kind of hedging the rest. Shields is so scary. Like every time, even though it's against Houston, like it's just Price and Sale are kind of like the second option. That's kind of where I'm leaning.
I'll tell you what, Shields scares me a lot. I think he gave up, 7 runs last game. Maybe one of them was earned. But I still like him. If you look at Houston's numbers, I mean, look, he could easily do terrible. Don't get me wrong, but their batting average is they're in hitting 179 as a team or something. Where the league average is, I think, 240. Just ridiculous numbers when you look at it. And I don't know, if he can't put together a decent game tonight, I'm going to be really concerned. Chris Sale's my guy tonight. I think Boston's been underwhelming. They're not showing anybody up right now. They're not putting a lot of runs on the board. And Sale's strikeout totals look to be down, but I still love the guy. I love the way he pitches, and I don't know. I'm looking for 8 strong out of him. What do you think, Dan?
Yeah, I think Shields is actually going to be your top-owned guy. I'm somewhat surprised by Knapp saying Waino is his top guy. I think Shields across the industry is going to be, just because of the matchup, he's going to be owned.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the direction I'm going to go, though. I like Sal. I like Lofi mentioned. I think Price is also in play.
Sorry.
It's not the same old Yankee squad that's been putting up. They just haven't been putting up a lot of runs. I mean, you look at 6 through 9 tonight that Price is going to have to face. You have Solarte, who, to his credit, has been having a heck of a year to start. But then you go to Sizemore, Roberts, and Suzuki is your bottom half of the order.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the top hitters that you'll be facing, too, are Ellsbury, McCann, or possible power hitters. He's got the platoon advantage on that. So it's really navigating more or less through, as long as he doesn't give up a home run to Beltran or Soriano. It's the rest of the lineup's kind of easy to work through there.
Yeah, I said Wainwright just because I had him on every site, but I think Price is the better, I think he has more upside. You're right. Just looking at home versus that, incredibly less home run likely lineup than Washington. Yeah, it's
Washington's
weird.
easy to pick on, though. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, Washington really is easy to pick on.
I feel good. The reason I like Price tonight is this guy. He'll give up some base runners, and I put this in the Insiders column, the Daily Diamond today. But he can pitch so deep into games so consistently. I mean, last year this guy I don't think he was qualified among pitchers to be in the pitches per inning, but 14.5 pitches per inning was second best in baseball. And New York's just not doing it. 4 or less runs scored in 11 of 15 games this year. And they're not there right now. Some of their acquisitions are beginning to step up. You know, you got Soriano was halfway through last year, and Beltran, but where's that coming from?
That's not me, I don't think. Or is it?
The sirens?
Yeah.
Is that you?
Wow, it's like faint, but my microphone's crazy strong. Yeah, it's me. that's crazy.
Well,
Nav's going to get out of his seat and start running.
So you still,
Good.
all right, yeah, still Wainwright number 1, and then who's number 2? Sale?
Price for me, I mean.
I
Dan's
do.
like Shields and your Sale.
Well, I'm not sure.
I like them all.
I think the general public
Yeah.
should be on Shields as number 1.
On
is what I'm
FanDuel,
saying.
definitely. Isn't he like
Yeah.
way cheaper?
yeah,
he's not as much as cheap as I thought he was. He's 7,800, which you can get Price for 700 more, and you
Oh
can get
wow.
Sal for 1,200 more. Wayno's way out of my price range on FanDuel. He's 9,800.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I think for the options you have, I think he's definitely not a top option. The thing I think should also be noted about Sale is, I mean, he's not going to have a short leash anyways. He's their inning eater. But the extra innings game, I always do like to target pitchers that are coming off a game where their bullpen's been taxed, because they do tend to get a little longer leash, especially when they're heading into the weekend series. So, you know, they're going to want to save the bullpen. He might get a little longer leash than normal. It's usually a better factor for someone that's, you know, not an innings eater like Chris Sale. But he certainly has that possibility of getting a little longer leash.
How about Gallardo? That line's only 7 or 7.5. I mean, it's tough. It's very tough, but man, he could win it
is.
easily.
Yeah, and he's been pitching really well. What are his numbers here this year? Anyone have those up?
Pretty good. I mean, a few couple runs.
Let's see. I'm bringing it up right now.
He's been decent. I don't think.
Dave's just been trolling with that, waiting to play the cricket sound. Yeah, he's only let up 2 earned runs this year in 18 innings pitched.
Twice for St. Louis too, right? Or
no, Atlanta,
twice
Boston, Pitt.
I thought he played the same team twice.
Okay, Gallardo?
Yeah.
Yeah, guy. No, not according to game logs.
Boston and Atlanta. He's had 3 decent games, but 9-4 on DraftKings is where I'm looking at right now. That's a little much for me.
No, not there.
He's given up 2 runs only once. The other 2 starts, he didn't give up any runs. But the problem with this is there's strikeouts are weighted so heavily, and it doesn't matter if he gives you 9 innings and 3 strikeouts. Like, you'll take the guy with 6 strikeouts, 3 runs, or 10 strikeouts and 6 innings and 3 runs, just because of how important they are. And David Price is 10-6. Shields is actually more expensive than Price on DraftKings by 100, that's pretty shocking. I got to be honest, their pricing has been bizarre lately, absolutely outrageous at times. But the top 4 guys look pretty decent aside from Shields. Like Sale at 11,000, I would willingly spend that. And then Price at 10-6. I don't know about you guys, but I don't see any reason to go with anyone else. The problem is on DraftKings, where you don't have those 2 games, where you don't have those 2 makeup games, where do you go with your second pitcher? Eric, do you stack two top-tier pitchers, or do you gamble on Sabathia, who I don't like against Tampa Bay? Right. So do you go Gallardo? There are no cheap options other than Taylor Jordan, Edison Volquez, and CC Sabathia. So do you
you don't need. There's plenty of cheap ads. I'm not even looking at anyone under.
Yeah, there's no need to.
I'm going Wainwright and Price. I mean,
right.
I'm just saying that. I don't think Wainwright will be owned enough, and I think Shields is just below up. It just feels like, I don't know. I mean, it's a great matchup. I just like Houston to hit tonight. I don't know why. I just feel it, and I think Sale's going to be probably same amount of ownage. Like as Price and Shields. I just like Wainwright as a sneaky. He feels sneaky. It's weird to say, but
I think he is. Because I was shocked when you.
I've just heard Sale so much today. It's scaring me. What?
It's interesting though because I don't think there's going to be one specific pitcher, whether it be Wainwright, Price, Sale, or Shields, that's going to be really highly owned. You know, a lot of nights where
I think Price is that guy tonight. It's just at home versus.
But I think there's still a lot of people out there that that might not be as informed that still get a little bit nervous on the Yankees, and we'll see. I don't know, but I could see. What was it the other night where Darvish was probably 60% in a lot of with the same night that the Phillies beat up on Fernandez, but. That was actually Darvish against the Astros. There isn't one matchup like that tonight that really makes you, really sticks out at you. So this could go really any way, if you ask me. I could see either a lot of good performances or a couple.
Your mic went out.
We knew something was going to happen. I was just hoping it wasn't myself.
I was waiting for the buzzer.
Soccer Dave is going to have to step in now.
Do you not see me? Am I not here?
Oh, there you go.
Mike's
Dan's been cutting out on me a bit, and then I cut out, and then apparently a bunch of bad connections here, so this is pretty cool.
Mine's the only one that hasn't messed up. That's crazy.
Dave, can you tell people why your connection is messed up, why you don't have Ethernet?
All right. So my dog the other day, this is not made up, this is the truth too, I swear to God, 100% honest, got sick, man, and it was freezing cold out. He decided to piss in the house. Well, not only did he decide to piss in the house, but he decided to piss on the router. And now I have my wireless mobile Wi-Fi garbage, which is cool if you're on a train maybe, but not when you're in your house. So, yeah, new one's coming tomorrow, but as of now, it's covered in piss. So I hope you're happy. That's the story, and that's how it is. Why don't we move on to first baseman?
Well, that's a good transition right there. That's how you do it.
We're going number one.
Oh! Nice.
Too easy.
Is there anyone that stands out to you tonight at first base? There's a couple for me, but Dan?
Oh, man, you're going to me first?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you didn't do your research. I forgot.
No, I'm going with Ben's guy tonight. I like Matt Adams.
I love Matt Adams.
Oh, wow.
Fat Matt for the night games. There's really not, going through the slate, there really isn't a whole lot of options at first base tonight. And I guess you're going to get that with all the top-end pitchers going tonight. You're not going to get very many intriguing options. But, yeah, I think it's Fat Matt for me.
See, Matt scares me because Taylor Jordan's pretty filthy. Like, Matt Adams is, like, a fastball hitter. Like, that's how I view him as. Like, Taylor Jordan, he can't throw the ball straight. Like, have you watched him this year?
I haven't.
It's just
I haven't
it's
seen
sick.
him on tape.
Let's watch him a little bit today. It's sick. And I'm looking at Konerko. He's in the lineup betting like fifth, I think.
Yeah, like absolutely dirt for it.
Not even like, I mean, yes, DVP is amazing, but I just kind of, for his price, he's $3K on DK. And then if you're not going him, it's between him and Hosmer for me. Like,
I knew you would be Konerko for some reason.
I mean,
Konerko's gonna hit one on the line drive to right fielder. It's gonna drop in and he's gonna get thrown out at first. It's gonna happen. The guy cannot run. You see guys in wheelchairs that could get it down to first a lot faster than what Konerko can do.
Wow, that is discriminatory.
I mean, not to put too much in the BVP, but I think he's got really nice numbers against.
Yeah, it's really nice, but it's still he's not the same hitter, and it's just the price and the spot in the lineup that's making me like him really.
Dave is like narcoleptic, I guess. Is that
when
you fall asleep all of a sudden?
He's freezing.
This is the most frustrating nonsense ever.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about Joe Mauer tonight? He was the guy that hit my list too when I went through.
Man, He's not available on DK, but I haven't looked at his price much. He's too expensive on like draft day for me. I'd rather take Konerko.
You think Konerko's going to hit one out? You think we're going to get a bomb out of Konerko tonight?
He's 67.50 on draft day. It's like that's crazy. I mean, Mauer's 10.
Konerko's having a nice season. So
has he even played this year?
I'm joking.
How many at bats does Paul Konerko have this year?
He's fresh. He has a lot. Get the first in 10 seconds now.
He has one hit on 9 at bats.
There you go.
Yes, he's due.
But, all right, for what it's worth, he's what is he? 10 for 25 off Leicester with 3 doubles and 3 homers and 7 RBIs.
Yeah. Throw that out. Who cares?
And 14 strikeouts. And no, he doesn't really have 14 strikeouts. It doesn't mean much, but if you're that cheap, it can't hurt to look at that and say, all right, he's got 6 extra base hits and 25.
When he's that cheap and he's batting 5th in the order, you don't have to look at any numbers.
No, but when you look at it, it makes you smile a little bit. That's all I'm saying. Okay?
And he's not really in danger of getting pinch hit for, I think, because, like, if a Brady's getting, like, a day off and he's a righty also, like, who would they pinch hit for him late? Like, Diaz is in the lineup.
He'll get pinch run for at some point in time.
If that means he gets on. He'll get points, though.
If he's lucky enough.
If he gets subbed, you get points.
Yeah, but then that's the most annoying thing in the world is when your guy gets on base and then they get pinch run for, and then that guy scores a run.
Yeah, it's brutal. That happened last night with I forgot. I had somebody. It was a total crap show last night. So everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. So you name it, it happened. But when I look at first base, there's really nobody that sticks out to me that's a must play. So I think really it's between Matt Adams and Paul Konerko.
You guys don't like Hosmer?
I don't mind. I like Hosmer.
I don't mind. It's tough.
I mean, Encarnacion on some sites where they're using that game. I mean, you can't go wrong with him against Pelfrey.
Has Hosmer hit a home run yet this year? No, they think they have 1 home run as a team. We got another one last night.
He doubled it. Mustako's got one last night.
Yeah, it was Valencia, wasn't it?
Valencia and Mustako's got one.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. They had 2 more last night. Did the whole season.
See, Steve there in chat's got my back with the Joe Mauer play. I think Mauer's certainly in play where you can play him.
Yeah, I don't really ever have a problem with Mauer just because he gets on base a lot. And he's not going to give you much power, but if you're looking for someone to get you on base,
he's Alan Craig's kind of sneaky if you think everyone's going Adams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't mind Tim either. Isn't he? And he's having a bit of a power surge, I think. One game, but
I still think that's going to be low scoring 2-0 Cardinals game. Like Taylor Jordan's not that bad. Like
you have faith in him, huh? You like him tonight.
Yeah, you like him. You're the complete opposite of Ben, who is that
Cardinals.
He's I don't know if he's stacking, but that's clearly who he targeted when I was editing his article today. That's clearly who he was targeting.
Eric, do you like him as a fantasy pitching option, or do you just not, or do you like him as someone that you probably don't want to play too many bats against?
Yeah, the second one. Like I like him as a hard to figure out pitcher that like I don't think they're gonna get too many runs on. Like I'm targeting righties against CC, the Royals, and then a few White Sox. Yeah, and it's an interesting night.
Yeah, it's a pathetic slate because that's really all it is. I mean,
the Blue Jays are obvious, but I'm playing mostly DraftKings where they're not available. So you guys can talk about that game.
Yeah, I mean, I think they have the highest team total.
Yeah.
I saw on 5 Dimes they had a team total of 4, and it was juiced on the over, so that was by far the highest. But
I haven't really looked much over that game yet because I don't know. I think Eric just said he's mostly on DraftKings, and that's where I've been looking at everything. To be honest, I didn't even think they were running that game tonight, but
they're not.
No, not DraftKings. I'm saying other sites. And
yeah.
But what do you see? What do you see in that game, Dan? Is there what do you see? What do you like bats wise? You see potential in that game?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said, it's the highest over under. I mean, I don't know what the weather's gonna be like. Let me see if I can bring that up real quick. If it's gonna, I mean, yeah, it looks like it's getting cold again. So you always have to have some concern about the weather factor there. It looks like it's gonna be in the 30s by the time the game's over. But you can go for all those big bats. I think Navarro is a decent catcher option tonight because I don't think there's a whole lot of top end catcher options in general. So Navarro, I think around is like 2,500 on FanDuel. I think he's a fairly decent option. But overall, I mean, you look through their whole lineup and you have options through 1 through 6. I'm fine playing pretty much any of those guys against Pelfrey. I'm not going to be putting Goins, or Diaz in my lineup, but Rasmus has been on a heater. For those of you that believe in riding the hot streak, Rasmus is certainly a decent play tonight.
He had 2 base hits earlier today too.
He's up to 4K on FanDuel, it looks like, and
yeah, on a Toronto team that did nothing earlier this afternoon. But I think Eric already brought this up. When you look at the over-unders on this game, you got Boston and Chicago at 7. Kansas City and Houston at 7.5. New York and Tampa Bay at 6.5. 6.5 to St. Louis and Washington. 6.5 to Milwaukee and Pittsburgh. There's a lot. And then 7 to Colorado and San Diego. There's really not many bats out there. So if there was a night to spend top dollar at pitching, tonight's the night, because you have a lot more consistency on the mound than you're going to get at the plate. And I've never been one to stack my bats heavy and punt my pitching options unless there's someone that, maybe like Ventura the other night that was really cheap on a couple sites. He's got a good matchup, but there's really nothing worth looking at for me. And even in the other games, what do we have? Ian Kennedy and who's going for Colorado?
Franklin Morales.
How do you feel about him? He's solid.
Nah, he's a guy to target, but you're playing in Petco, so home runs are going to be hard to come by. But I do like a guy like Jerko who's got some power. Once we get over to shortstop, I actually do like Cabrera quite a bit as a top shortstop option. And then you got one of your favorite platoon guys in Norfia who you can always run out against left-handers. I think he's close to min price across the industry, so where he's available. Who do you like in that game, Nat?
I mean, I'm not using that game like it's not on DraftKings, but like just looking at it quickly, I mean, all the righty Padres basically, and then I haven't really looked at the pricing, but I like Blackman leading off. Dickerson's he's kind of got a long break. I mean, in the 3-hole in front of Tulo's not bad. He's probably super cheap. And then they stacked righties after that. Like besides Morneau, it's interesting. I guess they don't really have much.
Yeah, they don't have any options.
They don't have any options. Yeah, so Morneau's pretty hot. He had a nice game last night. Kennedy's pretty sure he's not great against lefties at all.
Yeah, no, he's got pretty crazy. He's got pretty crazy splits if I can remember.
I mean, I like Nady hitting cleanup. He had some nice at bats last night. Medica homered. Yeah, I like the righty Padres definitely.
And they're cheap. I mean,
yeah,
you'll be hard pressed to find a site where they're all overpriced, except DraftKings if they're playing at Coors Field. But yeah, that game has a lot to target. It's just like Knapp said, it's not really something I'm on because I was more on DraftKings. And then the Minnesota game, that temperature is going to drop like an easy 15 degrees from earlier today. It's going to be going down to 39, 37 degrees. It's another cold game that's going to favor pitching. So
I will say, and this is one of my, it'll be a rant time for me. I will say one of my biggest pet peeves is when I see guys try to, and I do it to some extent too myself, but is when I see guys try to overanalyze weather. I mean, basically, look at the Vegas lines. they're taking that sort of thing into account when they're setting their lines, when they're setting the team totals, when they're setting the over/under. They're taking that sort of thing to account. So it's certainly a factor, but I think it's a factor that is taken into account with the Vegas lines. So while I look at weather to some extent, I mainly do so in the sense that I'm just looking at the lines that Vegas is putting out for me.
Yeah, that's fair. I do think though that balls get knocked down though from at times. With that Philadelphia game the other night, I watched that entire game and balls were getting smoked, man. They were lacing them, and you're looking out towards center field, and you have the whole well, I want to say 40,000. It used to be 4,000 people standing up thinking that it's going out, and it just dies. So
Yeah.
While I agree with you, while it's not something you say, oh my God, it's going to be below 40, fade them all. I click this one off. We're not touching this. No, I'm not saying that. But I do think that it can take away home run potential. And if you're looking for a guy that is only based on power and doesn't really have any other skill sets, then it's something to take into consideration, and you might be good looking elsewhere. Just to kind of save yourself some worry in the case that it does affect it.
That is a good point about power. I mean, you're going to have, for those cold weather games, Vegas is going to deflate the line as much as they can. But it is important to note they might score runs, but it might not necessarily be via the home run ball.
Right, and yeah, just so we're clear on that, because all I care about when I look at the weather, I'm thinking about power. The Citizens Bank Park, I want it to be 95 degrees with 14-mile-per-hour winds blowing out. And when that happens, the balls go out. You just watch them, man. They're pop-ups. That's what they are. Is they're what would typically be a mid pop-up is now landing in the garden. So I don't know. It's just something to consider, but it's not necessarily something like you said that you're going to worry about. But when it was snowing in Minnesota the other night, so I guess it's when you look at that. What about second base though? We just spent a lot of time on weather. So,
I want
there's no rain tonight.
I want to say Steve's comment though. Our buddy Steve wrote in chat, I don't think the North Pole can lower the amount of runs McCowan and Pelfrey will allow tonight.
All right, but will they be home runs? That is the
dude. The only game with wind blowing hard in is the Pittsburgh game too. Like that might affect that line. They're looking at 11 miles per hour straight to home plate. Like, man,
well, that's why you're seeing a 6.5 over under.
Yeah, I said that probably affects the line. And man, I'm getting a feeling on Garda today. It's weird.
Yeah,
I'm gonna use him a little. Maybe not cash game, but you won't be over 10% anywhere owned probably. But
again, it still brings the point up. Is he a home run? Does he allow a lot of home runs? Is the question. If he doesn't allow that many home runs, I don't know if he's giving up 5 runs a game on ground balls, which he isn't. But it really just depends what kind of pitcher he is, right? If the weather's going to affect him, it's going to have that much of an adverse effect on him. But. Mm-hmm.
I'm just laughing at Dink. He says Volquez usually throws 91 to 92 miles per hour. So with the 11-mile-per-hour winds from set, he's going to be throwing 103 tonight. Exactly. That's why you have to subscribe to our friends over there at Roto Experts. They can drop you that sort of.
Volquez is like 7K on DK. I'm basically all in now.
So we use that as a segue. Do you like Pittsburgh bats?
No.
Only guy that could really is going to shift a lot tonight, like deciding tournaments, is Alvarez versus Longoria, because everyone's going to have Longoria. Like third base sucks tonight, and he's everyone's like, oh, it's the Goldschmidt versus Lincecum, same thing. If Alvarez homers and Goria doesn't, like that could literally you don't even need much else on your team to shift a tournament. Like, yeah. So I'm looking at Alvarez on a few different lineups. Like I know Longo's going to be owned crazy. If he homers, you're like, whatever. It just doesn't feel optimal to have him in a tournament tonight.
No, you're the GPP master, so people best listen to you, man.
They're the same price, too. They're both 5 and...
I know, and those are those type of... I hate that contrarian play, but...
It's not. It's exactly. It's optimal strategy. It's not contrarian. It's...
No. I'm saying I hate the term contrarian play. I'm not saying I hate the play. I actually like
No, I know what you're saying.
Okay, yeah. I think because you talk about contrarian plays, and you get some people, their idea of contrarian play is just throwing a guy that has a 4.014 average on the season into your lineup because he's batting ninth, and you think, all right, you know what? Nobody's going to have him. Well, sometimes nobody has somebody for a reason, but yeah, dude, Alvarez, if he gets a hit, it's likely going to be a home run. I think we can agree on that. So he doesn't do much other than that.
I mean, yeah, the wind's blowing in, but I mean, it's just the potential, just for a tournament, I'd say, of he might be 5% and Longo might be in the 60s, like literally.
Yeah, I just wish they were playing in Milwaukee and not Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
It's not the best stadium for hitters, but if he gets a hold of one, he's a big boy. He can send it. But
what about moose tacos? Anybody?
Mistakus? I hate that guy.
Dave just comes in laughing.
Just hear Dave's high pitched laugh.
You guys can take that one away because I won't touch that man. I cannot stand him. Burning passion for Mike Mistakus.
I would use. I mean, I don't mind a little Royals stack, throwing extra team in its small tournament. I mean, Feldman's he's been okay this year, but there's no weather in that stadium. Like it's not bad.
Yeah, and I agree with what you're saying, Nap. As far as third base goes, if you're playing cash games, I think you just go Longoria and just basically you just punt that, not punt, but basically just give up that position and go 8 on 8 instead of 9 versus 9 if you're playing on FanDuel, because the potential there for Longoria to have a big game isn't something you want to really take on as far as risk goes. But if you're looking for GPP guys, you got Alvarez, like you guys mentioned. I think Moustakas is valuable, and then Nap's favorite guy. I wanted to bring him up because you brought him up all the time last week. Semien is batting second. I think he's a viable punt option, especially if you want to pair him with your buddy Konerko or Viciedo.
Yeah.
I don't
pair him with
that,
the tank.
Yeah, and I don't think Lester's going to be shutting people down tonight. I just don't get that feeling. The White Sox offense has really not been bad at all. I mean, they're opening some games up for sure, and I think they scored the third most runs in the league through 3 weeks. So, but he's not really a punt on DraftKings. He's 4,200, but on sites where he's cheap, I think he's definitely a viable play. Someone I like, and I know Nap, you talked about Taylor, but what about Matt Carpenter?
I mean, he's always like the most expensive. It's weird. Like he's the most on draft day. I think he's like he's over 45 on DraftKings. I just don't.
5,000.
Yeah, it's like that's like you need those kind of guys. You need to homer, and he can, but like, man, I'm just not even thinking about him tonight.
Yeah, it's a shame because at $4,000 he would be a safe play.
Yeah, I mean Colton Wong is at that even over 4. It's like
right, and Carpenter's had 3 subpar games, but.
I'm so confused.
Did I see something again?
What? No, you just stopped talking.
I didn't know what was going on, man.
Well, Dave's just trolling right now.
This whole dog situation has put me out of whack.
Dude, if you wanna, I'm going through DraftKings right now. If you're wanting to punt second base or whatever, what I don't even know what we're talking about right now.
I already know what you're gonna say, Scooter.
Heck yeah, man, Scooter.
Yeah, he's cheap. He's somebody to look at.
2,200. I think he's a viable option. You're gonna have to save somewhere, so you want to look at a place that doesn't have many top options.
I'm looking at an outfield, man. Kraus and Springer, 4,200 combined.
I do like Kraus, man. Kraus is just such a random power hitter.
Scooter Gennett. Here's why you should not like Scooter Gennett. This guy gave himself his own nickname, and he decided on Scooter. If you're going to give yourself a nickname, something better than Scooter.
Dude, he's probably like 5 years old, like Soccer Dave was when he created his AOL account, and he's stuck with it. however many years.
Sophomore and he said he was a sophomore in college.
Okay, yeah, that's kind of.
I'm joking. He was a kid, but still, I don't care. You're calling yourself Scooter still. All right, but yeah.
So Dave gets all this hate from you then too, right? Soccer Dave.
Mine's not much better, man. So I can't talk, but it's not Scooter, okay?
Well, I wish I had one of your guys' names, Mr. Tuttle05. I get a question tonight if I'm related to some random person named Tuttle.
What would you change your name to right now if you could?
I have no idea.
Exactly.
I'd keep it. But everyone, just so everybody knows out there, I'm not. My last name's not Tuttle.
So where'd it come from? Tell them where it came from.
The driver's ed teacher from Saved by the Bell.
Oh Christ!
It's an obscure reference, but come on. I'm not related to some Tuttle from Northern Iowa who rides the pine. I've gotten that one quite a bit.
How many episodes was the driver's ed teacher in?
Dude, I have no idea.
Like, did he have like a 5-minute piece in a show and that was it? And you're like, that's it? That's my name?
No. All right, I'm bringing up the IMDb. You guys talk about this.
Stretch. Oh!
And now we have
Matt Kemp is loud voice.
Pushy. Move your tushy.
Damn it. All right, go ahead.
All right. Your modem.
IMDb. It looks like he was. Okay, apparently he was only in 5 episodes. That's a little more obscure than I realized.
He's also dead now.
Yeah, he's dead.
All right.
If you Google search Jack
Wow,
Angels.
you're named after a... Wow, okay. I thought he was like a well-known... No, hold on. Just because Ding referenced Forsyth, he's a much better punt than Scooter tonight.
No.
He's batting ahead of Longo in the 3-hole. Oh my, come on.
Get out of here.
All right, I'll side bet that all day.
Side bet.
You go with Logie?
Side bet.
No, the only reason why I have that response is because I've tried to do that multiple times this year when he's been up in the order. Who was he against? Jason Vargas, I think, was one of them. And he also was against Cingrani. I've played him those 2 times, and I think...
Oh, come on. Those are much better, tougher matchups. CeCe's giving up dogs this year.
He's been horrible. I think CeCe's going to get rocked tonight. I could be wrong. Let me ask you guys this, though. If we're talking about punt plays, looking at some cheap options, if we're looking strictly GPPs, are there any guys that you would roll out there at a cheap price against someone like Chris Sale or against someone like Wainwright? What are some guys that – because, look, we know that Sale can get hit. He can get beat up at times. You know, he will give up home runs, and he's in a stadium where home runs are plentiful. So is there anyone out there that you look at and you say, look, in a GPP, multiple lineups, I want to put him in and see what he can do? Anybody?
Gomes. Johnny Gomes.
I don't even think that's necessarily GPP either. I think it's viable. I think David Ross too, for lack of catcher position or catcher options. I think he's a viable play against Sale.
Yeah, 6-hole. Wow. Yeah,
so I think there's guys out there.
That's what scares me about Sale is not like because Napoli's back. I don't know how he's back. His finger was sideways 2 days ago. Napoli, Gomes, and Ross, like that's just power righties. I can't see him getting through that 4 to 5 times. Like I don't know.
There's no one I'm taking against Wainwright though. I'm looking through the Nationals order right now, and there's just not. I mean, you don't want your GPP play to be someone that you're going to spend a decent amount of cap on, and you know Harper would be that guy, but on DraftKings he's $5K. You're not going to spend that on Harper.
No, you can't, and especially I trust Wainwright a little more than Sale if we're talking about blowing right through a lineup. I like Sale more in terms of strikeouts, but
well, I think the question's actually kind of telling to who you think the top options at starting pitcher are tonight, because I'm not picking anyone from the Yankees that I would take as a GPP. I wouldn't take any from the Nationals as a GPP option. But if you're looking at it, there's actually some decent Astro options that I would feel comfortable with. I know Nat mentioned Kraus. I think Castro's actually the top catching option tonight. So if you're looking at that, that's kind of why I'm a little bit scared of Shields, is because you look at just the limited options you're going to have for hitters tonight in general because of all the top pitching options, and the Astros actually have some viable bats that you can play.
Yeah, and excuse me, the catcher position is weak again. There's really not much at the catcher position at all. You look through this. Do you want to spend $5,000 on DraftKings on Molina tonight? Do you want to spend $45 on Russell Martin? There aren't necessarily a lot of plays. I'm looking. McCann, lefty against Price. He's been terrible. There isn't much. Jonathan Lucroy. God,
dude, Jose Molina's 1,800.
Is he really on DraftKings?
Yeah, he is. He's 0 for 19 off of CC.
Oh my God!
Did you guys see the? And I didn't even know DraftKings did this for a while or had been doing this. But did you guys see the 400K tournament? What was that, like the walk off or something?
Yeah.
They had guys priced at $1,000 and actually played. Stephen Romero was one of them.
Yeah,
DraftKings.
He was DraftKings. They raised that bar up a little bit, but it'll be interesting to see if they do that again.
Wow.
There's been a couple under two this year. Hector Sanchez when he started.
Yeah. But speaking of guys that just started, George Springer, he's minimum price on DraftKings tonight. It's not he doesn't have the platoon advantage, but you throw Springer, he's probably batting second. Yeah, Springer's batting second in the order. Pair him, Castro, Kraus, and you have a decent core where then you can go spend money elsewhere.
Yeah, he had a couple. He had a little bit of some good contact last night. I mean, talking about Springer, but at $2,000, I don't need good. I need one hit. What more do you need from him if you're looking at? Let's just assume Wainwright and Price have two solid outings. You don't need any more than maybe a base hit and a run scored for Springer, and now you got 5 points on DraftKings, 5, 6, 7 points. That's well worth the $2,000, especially where you could spend $5,000 on a player and he can give you 0. So I have zero problem with that. But
he gives you stolen base potential too, which is good, especially off a change. A guy that throws the changeup quite a bit. You should get a fair amount of time or opportunity to steal some bases if he actually does get on.
And I hate to agree with Knapp here, but Jose Molina's looking mighty. No, not because
looking mighty tasty
personally, but because
don't do it.
I'm actually about to agree with him on Jose Molina. This 1800.
No.
Man.
David Ross for $300 more is infinitely a better option.
Oh yeah,
Jose Molina.
I was just laughing at under 2,000.
Yeah,
it's just funny because he's priced at 1,800.
What's Brandon Geyer at? He's got to be cheap.
Let's see, 22.
Wow, yeah, he could dong off CC.
I honestly don't even look at BVP, but doesn't Sean Rodriguez just own CC?
I don't know.
Owns him.
I need someone in chat to give me.
I know Longo and Unell are the main guys. EVP guys against it, but I'm just.
Here's Rodriguez, 13 for 42 with 2 home runs and 3 doubles and a triple, 6 RBIs. He's good against him. He's not anything that's really noteworthy, but he's a decent play. Damn,
he's more expensive than I thought on DraftKings.
Forsythe's donged off him. Are you sure you want to take this bet?
I'll take any righty against CC tonight. I don't like the way he's been pitching. He's been getting beat up, and he's still gonna get a couple strikeouts, but I think he's gonna give up plenty of runs tonight. What about Will Myers? 3,200 on DraftKings.
That's how cheap he is on DraftKings.
Yeah, he's batting 5th.
Sean Rod's more expensive than him. That's amazing.
Yeah, if he's 3,200, that's close to a must play in my opinion on DraftKings.
Now, granted, he's 3,200 because he's been terrible lately.
Yeah.
but at the same time, he's definitely capable of having a good game tonight. He does have a home run and 9 at bats. Actually, I know you don't like BVP. He does have 5 RBIs and only 9 at bats off Sabathia. So for what it's worth, it makes you feel any better.
And it's worth nothing, is what it's worth.
But when he has 5 more tonight, you're going to say, just listen to Dave.
Yeah, and somebody, Cannon brought up in chat, Desmond Jennings, too. I'm going through some of these prices right now. It speaks to the point that you brought up a little earlier on about DraftKings pricing being kind of crazy and kind of soft. But actually, I mean, you look at a lot of these righties. You got Myers for 32, Jennings is 3,700. I mean, you're not. It just goes back to the point where you're absolutely spending on pitching tonight, and there's not another option. You're spending for 2 aces tonight, and you're filling in the roster with cheap guys.
Just to give you an idea, if you, on DraftKings, if you put Wainwright and Price in there, you have around 3,500 remaining per player. Now, if you put Ross in there, you're looking at David Ross goes in there. Now you got 3,700 per player. You can actually make a decent lineup with that. So,
definitely.
You know, and then with Myers, now you have to 3,800, and you still have 6 spots left. It's
with Krause and Springer, it jumps up to like 4,500.
Yeah, so you have plenty of options on there. Granted, I'm just talking about that, but
okay, tweak butt out. Look like a dong for a second. That's a dong in Yankee Stadium.
I can't see Dave's face. I can just hear that laugh. And it's pretty entertaining.
All right, we got a question in chat. Any thoughts on Dickerson Blackman tonight against Kennedy?
Yeah, I haven't looked at the prices, but if you're doing the early slate, I mean, definitely.
Yeah, I like Blackman quite a bit. What do you have a site specific, or is this just in general? I guess would be my question. I mean, Blackman. I definitely take Blackman over Dickerson on FanDuel. I think there's only a $400 difference.
Wow, they're almost the same on draft day. That's weird.
Yeah, and I like the left-handed bats off of Kennedy. I'm trying to pull up some stats right now off of him. Let's see here. The WOBA was not as bad as I thought against lefties. He's got a career 318 WOBA against lefties, which isn't nearly as bad as I thought. But I still like him. I mean, when I just did my initial sweep, I was hoping Cargo would be in the lineup because I thought it was a good spot for him. And I do like Blackman quite a bit. I'd say Blackman for sure over Dickerson on FanDuel. And anywhere they're fairly evenly priced. But if you want to roll them both, I don't have a problem with that either.
Yeah, and something important to note is that people, you know, Dan, just like you brought up weather, how people put so much emphasis on that. Stadium's only a factor when you're dealing with certain types of players. If you're dealing with a dude that's getting ground balls and stealing bases, the field means absolutely nothing. So, you know, you don't want to look at a guy, but, well, I really hate that stadium. Juan Pierre's not going to hit one out tonight. You know, Ben Revere's getting held inside the park. It doesn't really matter when it comes to those guys. It's really power hitters that, you know, or guys that are capable of hitting home runs. But, you know, what do Blackman and Dickerson have on the season in terms of home runs?
Dickerson hasn't even played very much.
Blackman's had a few.
Does he have a few?
Yeah.
Let me bring it up. But, yeah, I mean, the point remains, you're not taking Blackman because of his power. You're taking on-base and steal potential for sure.
Right. So I don't see any problem with either of them. And it's not like they're going up against an ace tonight. So we haven't really talked much about outfielders. I mean, a couple in the San Diego game. But I looked through what about Ben Zobrist on multi-position eligibility sites? Leading off. I don't love him leading off. But
you like him now?
He's not in any of my cash game teams, but I mean, I don't mind him. His price is like DraftKings. Like, I like Forsythe. He's half the price. I like Forsythe more. for the price.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's steep. I mean, FanDuel even he's second base eligible on FanDuel. You're looking at a $4,200 price tag. I think I'd rather have like Matt Carpenter for $300 less. I think I'd actually rather go Jorko. I think over both those two. Who's 3,100 on FanDuel.
Yeah,
you guys thinking about Pedroia?
I've had trouble trusting Zobrist. He's every time I've seen the play him, I get burned by him. I mean, every single time. So I'll leave that to somebody else. One guy I wanted to bring up because of how well he's been playing. Let me just make sure he's in the lineup. Ramirez.
He's in.
This guy has been out of control recently. He's expensive, and to be honest, his splits versus righties and lefties really don't change much, and he is going to cost you a lot of money. But if you did have room for it, I wouldn't be against playing him right now because this guy is on a tear. And look at his game logs. Look what he's doing. He is so locked in right now that it's rare when he doesn't have at least 10 fantasy points. What do you think, Dan?
I didn't hear the question because I'm responding in chat.
I said, how do you feel about Alex Rodriguez?
Alex Rodriguez, I think he's a guy. I think he's misunderstood individual.
How do you feel about Alexi Ramirez?
For the price, I'm not touching him.
No.
Oh. I just hate shortstop today. I just put him. He fit like after I got what I wanted.
I'd rather like on the FanDuel. I think I'd rather have Xander.
Yeah.
I mentioned Everett. I think Everett is a pretty decent option.
I'm looking at 0 for 4 night for Xander. I feel it in my bones.
Throw me a frickin' bone here.
How did you line that up so quick?
I know. What the hell?
He's got his little soundboard going
what about Johnny Peralta?
I do like him. Yeah, he's only 1,000 less than Alexi, but
I'm not. I know Ben wrote him up. I'm not a huge Peralta fanboy. And for what it's worth, I know Ben has Alexi as his number 1 too.
For the listeners or the people watching this, I'm really just trying to run down a couple options because this position is there tonight, and I don't want to just leave with one Alexi and Scooter Jeanette. Good old Scooter.
Dude, Scooter is the bomb, and he's only second base eligible. Come on.
No, he's definitely shortstop eligible.
On DraftKings.
Come on, but
come on. What's his real name?
Now, I forget, but then here's another one. I don't particularly like him, but he's cheap. Escobar.
Exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
Watch what happens. 2,800 on DraftKings. I would take him over Jeanette tonight. Personally, I would take him over Jeanette.
Yeah.
I'd like it if he traded positions with Rodriguez in the batting order.
Yeah.
Then I'd like it a lot better. But I still say Ryan Joseph Jeanette is the better play.
Is that his name? Ryan Joseph Jeanette?
Yeah.
God, it's Ryan. It's not even like his name was Cletus or something, and he's like, I gotta change this to Scooter. His name was Ryan.
The only punch shortstop I really see, I don't mind, is Jordy Mercer. I mean, he's the same spot as Jeanette in the order. I don't know. It's just another option. I don't know. He's not.
All three of them batting 8th. All three of them are tonight. So
one of them's gonna do better. Like
this is what we're here for. We give you 5 options. One of them will do well.
Get 2 singles tonight. Dave, how much
you guess.
Let's just move on. Shortstop blows.
Yeah. All right. Shortstop sucks. Moving on.
Dave, how much time we got, buddy? We started 6 minutes late. What's the game?
So we got 5 minutes, but we still have to do Tuttle's giveaway that he's been working on, and also wrap up. I want to show people the Swag Dome shirts that came in today that will be sent.
Take it over, baby.
Okay. Oh boy! Just want to point out that today we got the Swag Dome prize in. We have this week been sending out all the external prizes, and we'll be sending out shirts starting tomorrow. Nice, huh? These are
Can't see 'em.
swagalicious right there. So,
Ah.
yeah, a little pocket graphic, a little back graphic.
Do I get one even though I didn't participate?
I did get some extras, so I purposefully ordered some mediums for you and all the other mediums out there, like Drew Dinkmeyer.
Yeah, I'm guessing Drew doesn't get a shirt.
Drew does get a shirt, because if I don't give him a shirt, then I'm going to hear about it for the next 7 months.
Well,
So,
Dave, he did just call you dirty and unkempt, so you might want to rethink
This is
giving
true.
him.
why does it take a show that Dave's entirely off camera for him to look cleaned up and suave? Maybe it's because it's my anniversary today.
I think it's a legitimate question though.
It's my anniversary today, so trying to
Just
get
gonna get lucky.
trying to get lucky. Yeah. So, anyways, Nap, are you gonna have a line for us, or is it gonna be the same thing that it always is, or that it was last time?
I kind of got a new idea for today.
Okay. Do you want to share that with us?
You want to play the music again? All right, today's so I love that music. Today's kung fu game is what should we call it? We'll call it a perfect game for a batter. You have to pick it. Dude. All right. So you have to pick a guy who's gonna go at least 4 for 4, and he can't have been out. So he can go 5 for 5, 6 for 6, etc. But minimum 4 for 4. Doesn't matter dongs or anything like that. Just a perfect batter. And if there's a tie, dong's the tiebreaker. Whoever homers, while being 4 for 4 minimum.
Can you say
What if
that
he goes
again?
2 for 2 with 3 walks?
Nope.
No.
No, 4 for 4 minimum.
So, what is the tiebreaker?
A home run.
Homers, or if they both have one homer, we'll say RBIs. Second tiebreaker.
I was hoping for the word that you're gonna use.
Dongs.
We need to take this time to plug our Twitter feed.
Dong report?
Dog Report, and then
That's not our feed.
as a compliment at Daily Home Runs.
Yeah, those are good combos.
Yeah, at Daily Home Runs. It's an automatic Twitter feed for all of your home runs. So as soon as the home runs hit, you'll see it on the Twitters.
And it gives you extra information too about who scores and et cetera, et cetera.
Mhm.
So it's more than just knowing who hit a home run. We all want to know who scored when a home run was hit.
Your followers are going to fluctuate so much because you're going to have, they see the home run come up. They don't have the guy 70% on. I hate
Do a pissed off unfollow.
Right, and then the next day their guy hits a homer. Like, wait, let me follow it so I can see it on Twitter. So I'm just, be prepared for some fluctuation there. But it is pretty cool. I like it, and I follow it.
Dude, Aegon's so locked in. It's disgusting.
Did he just go yard?
Doubled. Oppo.
So didn't you have more, Dave?
Oh no, that was it for me. It's
Now he's just zooming in on Nap's face and
I know.
What was Dan
all
supposed
sorts of craziness. He said Tuttle instead of Nap for some reason. I don't have a game, so we're done.
sorry.
So we're good. Is that
My
it?
bad. Yeah, we're good. Tomorrow we'll have Davis, Derek, and our buddy Mike Leone from Roto Experts, who just won the FanDuel qualifier last night. Was huge. Ben Pritchett did not jinx him.
Oh my gosh,
Try-
that was ridiculous.
He
I
definitely.
Skyped him the link, and then next thing I know, there's a tweet out about congratulating Leone for winning when Dink was right behind him all he needed was a Sespi dong.
I did the same thing with Nap. He messaged me the link to, this is on tax night, and he messaged me the link to his train on DraftKings, and I thought it was over because it was like 2 a.m. I was like, "Congrats, man!" It wasn't
that
over.
mega, that top 50 get 1,000.
Yeah.
Fucking bubble at 18. 51st place.
Oh, you didn't hit that?
I hit a 14, but I had 8. I thought I had locked up. And
Dave even told me that you hit it.
I know.
So he was bragging about it even.
I know. You jinxed me.
Dude, Neb just hit a huge train in the mega crossover, man.
We should just point out that I don't talk like a skateboarder in our Skype chat. That's like Davis Maddock.
Yeah, that was my Davis Maddock impression.
Hey, Nat, do you actually enjoy that mega crossover? Do you enjoy that special edition? I can't stand it, to be honest with you. I much prefer.
I wish they had more tiers. Like maybe
Right.
1 to 50 is like $750, and then 50 to 100 is 500. If you get a little more value out of $27, if you don't hit it, you're like crap. It's like.
And typically, 60th place out of 2,100 people is pretty solid.
Should get something, yeah.
It's rough. I hit on the baseball one. What's it called? The mega
Payoff.
Yeah, coming in at like 57 the other day, and it's brutal because, well, that'll about do it. I can't stand that format. It bothers the hell out of me. But anyway, Jose Molina, 2 home runs tonight.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Billy Butler's going to double dong.
Yeah.
Just because we didn't mention him. I had to just throw him out there just to kill it.
That'd be his first.
Is going to die while running to the base paths.
Scooter's going to triple dong.
Any wild predictions before we go? Anything?
Scooter will home run. I'm calling that.
I'll wait you on that one, and I'll even give you a big bet.
All right, here's the prediction. Wainwright and Taylor combined for 3 total hits allowed.
Oh, how many inning?
Is this a Chris Sale premonition?
I'm glad somebody got it.
Yeah.
Here's one. Sale's going for 12 strikeouts tonight over 7 2/3 innings.
Oh, he's going the thirds even. 7 2/3. All right.
7 2/3. You got to get risky, baby. That's it. 12 strikeouts, 7 2/3 innings.
All right, that's it. All right.
Yeah. Wrap it up, Dave. Wrap it up.
All right. Well, for Dan Gasper, Eric Wardenberg, and me, Dave Lockman, we will see you tomorrow on Friday, 5 p.m. Good luck tonight, fellas. We're out.
Yeah.
Peace.
How'd you like that? Lock down. Not everyone can be like Soccer Dave, right?
Soccer Dave.
There were not enough buzzers in that show. I love the buzzer.
That's true.
All right, Dave. Is that about all?
Yeah, I think that's it from me.
I didn't even set a lineup, man. I got home from work at like 4:50 and jumped right on here. What do you got for me? Dan, send me one over, buddy.
I haven't. I'm just working on one right now.
What's that? DraftKings?
Yeah, I mean,